Hey, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete. It's the same shot that I filmed for you guys 2 years ago when I planted this area out, including this Aravaipa Arizona native avocado tree.
This pineapple guava and the salt bush will be really good companions for this avocado and give him a little bit of diffused light, cause him to have a good transition into this spot, and then allow him to get mature and try to create a foresty atmosphere for this native Arizona avocado, sometimes called a Don Juan.
There you go, guys. This is Aravaipa Arizona avocado numero uno. And in my opinion, I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. The leaves look dark and green. The new growth is coming off him pretty consistently everywhere, out of every joint, out of every stem. He's about doubled in size in terms of width and bushiness, and he's also doubled in height. As you can see, the growth of this area has made it impossible to film from that angle again. So let me have you guys join me over here, and we'll start the 2-year update video now from this angle. Okay, so I've now dubbed this section called the tropical section of my backyard edible landscape. And the Aravaipa avocado tree, when we planted him 2 years ago, as you guys just saw on the first video, it was only about 1.5 feet tall. It was in a 3-gallon pot. The tree was about 1 year old since its graft, and it was grafted as a little baby, and now they've been in the ground 2 years. So I'm thinking it's between 3 and 4 years old, but 2 years in the ground. Let me show you guys what it looks like today in 2017. I love it. One of my favorite trees in my yard. It's beyond 10 feet tall now, because my reach is about 8 feet, and so it's got that 9th and 10 foot going on. And it's just coming out of winter kind of slow growth season. I don't want to say winter dormancy because they continue to grow a little bit over the winter here in the Phoenix area. I know if you're in California or Florida or Texas, it might be warmer in the winter, but Phoenix does get into the 20s a couple times every winter. And this guy continues to grow very well. I've noticed that the cold of the winter time is not really that much of an issue with these avocado trees. The issue is the heat of the summertime. But look at the growth. All the new growth that's come out just in the last 2 weeks since the winter has began transitioning into spring. And for the first time ever, what I'm really excited about is that about 8 different branch tips have flowers on them. And we have one gardener in town named Alexander Falkenstein, who was a really accomplished gardener, and he found out that the Aravaipa is an A-type avocado. So I'll talk more about that later on. But we've got about 8 different tips that are flowering right now, and this tree just looks so healthy. Now here's the thing, when I planted the tree, you guys saw how the baby tree was kind of a split trunk. It had one center trunk that came up a few inches, and then it split after about 6 inches high. And to this day, it's continued to be shaped in that split trunk kind of fashion. So this is actually only half of the avocado tree. If you guys look back here, the other half is over here. So if the camera kind of pans back, and this, everything I'm shaking right now, this is all the one tree. So it's actually really big, and it's bushed out very nice. What I'm noticing is that every year that he gets bigger, or she gets bigger, the growth rate increases exponentially. So the first year it grew pretty modestly. Second year it grew more, and now we're getting into year 3. It's been 2 years in the ground, and it's starting to grow exponentially faster. What do you guys think? I think it's worthy of a thumbs up button down below, maybe a subscribe button, maybe a comment saying, I love avocado trees or alligator pears. And what I'm hoping is that if these flowers open in a couple of months, usually what I hear is that most people knock off the fruit the first year, but I'm hoping secretly in my heart that at least one avocado will survive so I can eat it with you guys on camera in about 3 or so months from now, maybe 4 or so months from now. There were 2 of them, remember? We had yin and yang. Let's go check out the other one, which is in the other corner of my yard in a completely different microclimate. Before we go over there, I want to mention one thing. This avocado tree doesn't behave properly. Most people would say for Phoenix residents in the desert, you want to give the tree afternoon shade and morning sun. And that means after about 11 o'clock in the morning, it should have shade or diffused light. This tree does the opposite right here. This one stays pretty much in the shade until about noon. And then from noon until sunset, he's pretty much in the sun. And despite that opposite sun exposure, he's doing very well. To this point, every summer I have put 2 layers of 30% shade cloth on top of this guy. And I'm debating right now if I should let him go and do no shade this summer. If I do that, I'll do an update video and I'll let you know what I'm gonna do, because part of the issue is he's just too big to shade. I just don't think there's a shade big enough, because in 3.5 months from now, when I need to shade him, when June hits, it's March 1st right now, first week of March right now. When June hits, April, May, June, in 3 months from now, he'll be 2 or 3 feet taller. And I don't think I can build a shade structure that tall, so he might have to do it alone this year for the first time. It's like sending your 18-year-old off to college by themselves. You know, I'm nervous, but hopefully he can make it. I did 0 winter frost protection this year, 0. And he grew just fine. So let's now go check out the other avocado tree that's in morning sun, afternoon shade. One thing that's also grown much bigger is my dinosaur, Leo the tortoise. He's actually wondering right now, he's like, why can't I come out and play in the main part of the yard? And you can, my friend, there you go. Go play. Eat the weeds, eat the grass. Leo. Okay, we've built this area out a little bit. We've added a ton of mulch, and here's the avocado. This is the other one. So from about 1.5 feet tall, when we first planted him, this guy's about, I would say, almost 9 feet tall. So he doesn't have the height of the other one we just saw, but this guy does have the most perfect shape, and all the new growth on the tips looks so good to me. Every leaf looks fantastic. All right, you guys, that's about all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in our next episode. All the leaves look so green and healthy. The one thing I've been really into lately with these guys is I've been picking off all the old leaves. So if I find an old leaf on this guy, I keep finding more of them. Actually, there's no more old leaves. Yeah, right here. So I just pick these old ones off that are yellow, and I throw them down, and for some reason that gives a lot more energy to the new growth. And so all this dark green, amazing looking leaves are the new growth. So the good thing about this guy being here is that he's protected from wind during the monsoon season, and he has a little bit of shade from the mesquite tree above him. This guy takes, in the summertime when it's hot, like 115, 119 degrees heat, he takes about twice as much water as the other one. But this guy only gets sun in the morning until about 11:30 a.m. After 11:30 in the morning, he's in the shade thanks to this mesquite tree. And in the wintertime, the mesquite drops his leaves and lets more light through. What I've been doing is I've been adding some fresh, locally made compost throughout the year, mixing it into the top layer for food. About 3 times a year, I add some liquid iron and liquid seaweed in there. What's very exciting about this guy is that his flowers came out about 1.5 weeks earlier than the other guy. And this morning, for the first time, you guys are the first ones to see it. Nobody else has seen this yet. One of them flowered. Let me get the light hit it, and one of them is in bloom. So that's the first avocado Aravaipa Arizona native flower that I've grown myself here at my yard, and I'm super excited. And it looks like this guy over here has got a little cluster of flowers behind the bird poop, and that one's about to pop for tomorrow. Basically, we have A-type and B-type avocados, and the avocado flower has both male and female reproductive organs inside of it. But B-type avocados and A-type avocados open the different sexes at different times of the day. So there's a male part of the flower and a female part of the flower. A-type avocados open the male part at a different time of day than the B-type avocados do. So it's very helpful if you're a home gardener to have an A-type avocado and a B-type in your yard, so they will cross-pollinate and produce better fruit. Now, they will still fruit by themselves. So if you only have one, you should be okay. But if you have both, you probably will have a better crop. And there we go. There's my 2-year update. They're both past my height now. This guy actually is taller than he seems because I'm standing about 2 feet taller than the native ground. And when I planted them, we were on native ground. So this is about 2 feet taller than the ground is. I put these stakes around them because if I didn't, Leo the tortoise would come by and grind the trunk away. I'm also very excited that if you see the trunk has started to get its bark, and so it's transitioning from green to brown. It's kind of like a teenage boy getting his first beard or his first mustache or something. And I got so much mulch down here. If you go into the tree well, I got some straw and leaves and wood chips, and there's so much life in there. And the top layer of this soil is so rich and full of worms and bugs and different kinds of millipedes, roly-polies, and earwigs, and of course, you know, beneficial fungus like the mycelium and mycorrhiza. And it's just a really good ecosystem down there that I always help to protect with the mulch. So if you guys are gonna post on Facebook at my Urban Gardening in Arizona Facebook group, or if you're gonna post in the comments below, or you're gonna send me a picture on Snapchat or Instagram of your avocado tree, I really wanna see a bunch of mulch like this. I don't wanna see cement or concrete all over the place. Give it a good ecosystem, give it the appropriate amount of water, look at my first video of how to plant them, and in 2 years, hopefully, or sooner, you'll be getting your first flowers, unless you buy a more mature tree. Go vegan, grow your food at home. I can't wait to show you guys the update when the flowers turn into fruit. And don't worry, we're gonna eat guacamole together at the Vegan Athlete channel. Era Vipa Arizona Avocado Guacamole.